Good evening. I call to order the meeting of the Salem School Committee of June 17th, 2025, at 7 p.m. This meeting is taking place in person at 29 Highland Avenue, room 227 in Salem. You can also join via Zoom using the link posted in the meeting agenda. For our first order of business, is there unanimous consent to take out of order 6.1, which is recognition of our retirees?
I'd like to move to take our retirees out of order.
Okay.
Second.
Thanks. We do have one member participating remotely, so votes are by roll call vote. Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Cruz?
Yes.
Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Manning?
Yes.
Member Miranda?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Dr. Zarek?
Want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really pleased to honor our retirees this year. This is a very distinguished group of retirees this year. I see a lot of familiar faces who have done outstanding things for the Salem Public Schools, and it's always a treat to celebrate them at the last school committee meeting of the year. These are the folks that are the backbone of our organization and do the work in schools each and every day. And so I'm sure this is bittersweet for all of them, and that's why we give them a sweet cupcake on the way out the door. But and nothing we can do or give you today is going to live up to what you've contributed to our schools over an extended period of time. So I'm going to start with the folks that unfortunately could not be with us. A few of them, actually, one of us sent us a note that was stuck in traffic, which we hear a lot in Salem, and the other folks not in Salem, coming to Salem, and we. And you know, some were unable to be with us tonight, but we will be recognizing them and sending them their awards. But the first is, and I'm just going to read their name and where they worked and what their role was. The first is Kathy Wood, who was a paraprofessional most recently at Horace Mann School. Judy Davis, who was a district-wide OT, occupational therapist. Meg Russo, who retired mid-year as the math coach at Bentley School, Bentley Academy. Alice Ryan, who is a guidance counselor at Salem High School, is retiring. Maureen Baudet, who's a guidance counselor at Salem High School, is retiring. Jim Ganji, who's the electrical teacher at Salem High School, is retiring. And I think those are the names. Everybody else is here. We also have Allison Traxler, who isn't retiring until December, but I'm just going to note that she's retiring in December, so we'll see her next year at this event. But the folks that are with us here, what I wanted to do was call each of them up to the front. We'll do that one by one. We have a little award. We have a little presentation. I don't know, Mayor, if you want to read what's in our proclamation for them.
So these are city proclamations for each of our retirees. They are a little different for each individual.
Different.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I will say generally expressing the gratitude and appreciation of the city on behalf of your unwavering commitment and dedication to the success of Salem students has been deeply impactful and will be felt for generations to come. Throughout your career, you've displayed an enthusiasm and love for learning that has enabled our students to flourish and succeed in their classrooms. On behalf of the city of Salem, I wish you the best in all your future endeavors and in your well-deserved retirement.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out front. We're going to call each person up one by one. And if we have a photographer over there, who will be our Miss Wingard, will be taking photos of each of you as you come up. You're welcome to bring your family with you if you'd like. And if you want a photo with the mayor and it's not worth anything, but you can.
Are you going to autograph them later?
Well, yeah, exactly. So the first we're going to start with is Sue Fair. Come on up. Here we go.
Thank you.
So Sue Fair, is it right, 30 years?
29.
but we're going to say 30. Okay. All right. So 30 years.
Steve, I feel like this should be going out to everybody on SATV, so you should be on the
Oh, I
mic.
should be on the mic,
Maybe,
okay.
maybe the podium and then get your picture
Yes.
taken?
Okay. Here we go.
Just so everyone in the,
Thank you.
our vast audience hears.
I only do this once a year, so I need some direction. Sue, stay right there. Stay right there. So Sue Fair, 30 years, the clerk at Horace Mann School, all those 29/30 years at Horace Mann. So let's get here for Sue Fair.
Look center stage.
Smile up, big. There we go. 30 years, all right.
Thank you.
Very nice.
All right, next up is Ellen Koslauskis, who is a reading specialist at Witchcraft Elementary School, and it says 33 years of service.
It's gonna record. If you're like this.
And you also received that very large book, so that's what.
Like you're trying to be in photo.
All right, next up is Sally Lincoln Vogel, who is an instrumental music teacher, and it says here 24 years of service.
It's a public meeting.
All right. Our next retiree is Betty Ryan. Or do you want me to say Elizabeth? I just know you as Betty Ryan. Betty Ryan, who is a paraprofessional, most recently at the ECC. And Betty, let's see, 26 years of service.
You're not even in them. We definitely are.
Okay. Next up is Kelly Regan Miskus, who is a special education teacher retiring from Carleton School. It says 10 years of service. I know there's two different.
Right.
Two-
35 altogether.
35 altogether. 35 altogether, yep.
Thank you.
35 years.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Next is Luz Villarreal. And Luz is a multilingual learning teacher, most recently at Horace Mann, and you're also this year split with Carleton. We'll just say all the elementary schools. And Luz is 24 years.
Is it okay if I call my family?
Oh, of course. Hang on.
My sisters? Tamaris.
Ven, venga. Siéntate cómoda.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think our final in person is Beth Contos, Salem High School history teacher. It says 19 years because we had to loan her out to the AFT for.
Thank you. Thanks. Can I get John in? Come on, John. Thank you so much. Oh.
Yeah, we may or may not have traded trophies.
That's all right. I know Sally. We'll switch. Thank
Manny, you
so
had one
much.
job.
Actually, Steve did not, that was not me.
You gotta make sure you have the right trophy
Yeah,
here.
yeah, right.
Thank you.
Where's Sally?
All right. Well, again, on behalf of the city, the school committee, and all of the members of our school community, thank you to all of you for your. We added it up. It's over 250 years of combined service to our schools. So, thank you, many members. Member Manning. Member Cruz.
Happens all the time. I just wanted to congratulate our retirees. There's a few that I have deep personal connections to, family friends. My guidance counselor retired, and then there's Mama Contos. So I'm going to take just a moment of personal privilege to thank you, Beth, for your leadership across our state, fighting for our kids and our educators. I've learned so much about public education through you, and you've always been such a tremendous thought partner. And I call her Mama Contos, as many of her students did affectionately, because she truly did give a lot of care, love, and attention to all of her students. And you were such a tremendous advocate for us at Salem High. So just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you've done for the children of Salem. So thank you, Beth.
My pleasure.
We will take a brief recess so that the retirees and their families could leave, or you're welcome to stay for the entirety of the committee meeting if you would like. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
All right, calling the meeting back to order. Our next item of business is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Member Campbell, seconded by Member Cornell. A roll call vote. Member Cornell,
Yes.
Member Cruz,
Yes.
Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Member Manning,
Yes.
Member Miranda,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
myself, yes. Public comment. The Salem School Committee would like to hear from the public on issues that affect the school district and are within the scope of the committee's responsibilities. Spanish interpretation is available for anyone who needs it. The members of the school committee would like to remind the public that Salem Public School students regularly attend school committee meetings. We encourage all meeting participants to model respectful and productive public discourse for our young learners. Our public comment policy limits public comment to 5 minutes total per speaker, and we'll start with anybody in the chambers. You can come up to the podium.
Is this working? Is it supposed to
It's for the folks at home.
For the
All right then. Okay. Well, my name is Raoni Batista de la Cruz. I am a student at Salem High School, and I live in 120 Bridge Street, and I am a Latino student. And I want to just bring up a quick issue that is not going to, just with the solution that is not going to impede with anything happening. So, you know, there's been a understaffing issue in some areas when it comes to the schools, especially in Latinx type teachers or anything else. So I want to quickly propose something. So how about if college students are able to support teachers in any lessons that they have, as in like a sort of co-op system for them to fully help out the teachers in anything they need, so the workload of the students themselves is not as stressful, basically. And that would be kind of related to the panorama system that I've talked to before with some other people. I can't exactly remember their names, but they mentioned it's just a student-teacher apprenticeship system. And now you guys obviously clearly you are aware of the system of the contract of fully paying off a tuition for any students that are willing to work 5 full years in any districts around. So I was proposing a separate idea, more like an alternative in a way, where they could offer some of their time, if they want to study at any schools that are not within the district, they could offer their time to help teachers in basically managing their classes. I believe this would have no actual compromise with any cost. Like, it's basically having another member of staff without directly paying them in any sort of form, so it doesn't impede with the new systems that you guys have introduced. Like for example, the teacher, I'm pretty sure it was called the teacher union contract, which was an overall 27% increase in all salaries for the next few years. Now, that won't be in any sort of, there won't be any complication with that. It would just be basically a help system for all teachers. And I believe it's also a good thing socially because, you know, there's a big cultural divide between the students and teachers. And that can sometimes get in the way of students actually caring about their lessons because they may not connect with their teachers in any way. Now, in my personal experience, I definitely learned much better with teachers that are basically of not my age range, but around, basically, like fresh off college in that term. And I just wanted to provide like one example. This is like very rare, but there was actually exactly what I'm saying. There was a teacher that was fresh out of college and he was helping one of our teachers. Now, he was the only case of this, but I found it to be extremely helpful. It was in a history class, and he was basically very welcoming, and he was fully helping the teacher. Basically, they split the work, and I noticed that there was a very consistent shift, basically, in the dynamic that the class had, and it just felt more efficient. Now, I want to quickly bring up how this could also potentially help with any language barriers. If you can get college students, especially since a lot of colleges are trying to incentivize getting foreign type students, rather than just the average that you can find in America. I think it will be very beneficial that anyone that gets in the in the teaching career, they can help with those classes, so there can be no any language barriers or explaining a lesson, so that therefore students that are of any foreign descent, they can just have basically just the same amount of opportunity as everyone else, and they're not hindered by that extremely big language barrier that is present between many classes. And like I already mentioned, it's a big understaffing issue. But like I said, us making a system where we can include sort of I don't know if you guys are probably familiar with this, but the sort of apprenticeship system within doctors and fresh out of college new interns basically. So it's not fully an internship, but mostly it's just an active teaching lesson while also providing help for both the students and the college students and the high school teachers. Basically take off load from their already mentally stressful days and just make all students in all those classes with those extra teachers feel more welcoming, feel that they can relate more. And like I mentioned, the language barriers, I really won't be as much of an issue if these can be incorporated. But that's all I wanted to say. I feel like that's about it. I don't know how much time I have, but is there any questions you guys would like to provide me? Maybe I can answer.
So typically for public comment, our policy is it's not a dialogue or a question and answer, but
Oh, I see.
I'm happy to follow up if you want to follow up with us after, and we can have
I would
more of a
love to.
dialogue.
I would
That'd be
actually
great.
love to. Maybe if I can interchange someone's emails here to further discuss this sort of issue. And like I said, this doesn't directly impede with any new systems you guys added for budgetary reasons. So I believe it just will be a very beneficial way of introducing college students to actively learn their job while also benefiting the students.
Great. Thank you. Additional public comment in the chambers. Please feel free to come on up.
Should I just finish it here and then just leave? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annie Badnar, and I'll be presenting this speech today. Dear members of the Salem Public School Committee, Superintendent Zreich, and Principal Burns, before I start, I would like to state that everything I'm about to say is strictly related to budget cuts. The students, parents, and staff were told that Mrs. Napier-Kowski's job was being withdrawn due to these budget cuts. In no way would I ever undermine the work of other Salem Public Schools staff. The reason our music department is so successful is not because of the adults individually, but how they work together to support each one of their students. In the Salem High School Music Department is driven by the idea that anyone, regardless of their title, position, or rank, deserves the same respect and love from everyone. I want to dedicate this speech to every person who has been touched by Mrs. Napier-Kowski's work, and remind the current students of the Salem Public Schools that you have a voice and a right to use that voice. If you don't feel like you have a voice right now, the teachers of the Salem Public Schools will help you shape it. And to Mrs. Napier-Kowski, thank you for helping me find my voice. On Friday, June 13th, the Salem High School Music Department received devastating word that Mrs. Napier-Kowski, a teacher who holds a .2 position, was informed that she will not be returning to Salem High School next year. I want to make it clear that we do understand Mrs. Napier-Kowski is a retired teacher and was allowed to return back to Salem High School after her retirement. We understand that there are financial constraints, and we want to thank you for the opportunity to work with her past her retirement. But we believe her time at Salem High School isn't over. Mrs. Napier-Kowski started her job at Salem High School in the summer of 1987, and this makes her the longest working employee of the Salem Public Schools. She has only ever worked here in Salem. Mrs. Napier-Kowski has devoted 38 years to the children of the Salem Public School District, and her impact will never be matched. She is the heart and the soul of our lives, and it is because of her that our music department flourishes. In her 38 years, she has created concert band, wind ensemble, jazz band, and various other ensembles. While Mrs. Napier-Kowski isn't in charge of many of these groups anymore, she still shows up to almost every single one of our performances, even in the times when she's driving 6 hours home on a Sunday after visiting her daughter. Mrs. Napier-Kowski is involved in our lives and so much more than music. She comes to our sports games, has conversations about real-life issues, and is the first person to realize if someone isn't themselves. She has shown us that music is a form of expression, and that expression is what fuels change. She teaches us about the harsh realities of life, and that with every negative outcome, there will always be a place to find joy. Whether or not she's employed with the Salem Public Schools in the future, I don't think it would be possible to tell Mrs. Napier-Kowski that she couldn't be a teacher anymore. Mrs. Napier-Kowski is the most energetic and engaging teacher I've ever had. Whether we have a 7 a.m. marching band rehearsal before a big competition and everyone else is half asleep, or we are returning to Salem High School at 11:30 and unloading the truck, she is the one dancing, laughing, and making sure that if we are here, we are devoting all we possibly can until our time runs out. Ironically, Mrs. Napier-Kowski always reminds us that you never know when it will be your last. Because of that, she tells us, you must do everything to the fullest as if this will be the last time you will ever do it. This mentality is what we in the Salem High School Music Department call greatness. It's how we perform our best, act our best, and be the best possible human being. Our definition of winning isn't receiving first place. It's by having our greatest and strongest performance. We carry ourselves with this mentality every day. Mrs. Napier-Kowski reminds us that we need to walk with our chins up and our eyes with pride, because that is how we represent the Salem High School Music Department, Salem High School, and the city of Salem. Our eyes are with pride regardless of the people who undermine our work and don't see how the music department is truly a family. The loss of Mrs. Napier-Kowski would be detrimental to our music department. We didn't know that it would be our last fall, winter, spring concert with Mrs. Napier-Kowski. We didn't know that this would be our last trip year with her. We didn't know that this would be the last time she pinned a senior corsage on one of our seniors in their final concert. We didn't know that this was the last banquet we had with her. We didn't know that this was the last time she would get up on the podium and conduct pomp and circumstance at the Salem High School graduation. And as the band room went silent as she delivered the news to us, filled with passion and love for her students, we didn't know that this would be the last time she would stand before us. Lastly, I'd like to reflect on our district's motto, how are the children? The children of the Salem High School Music Department are devastated. The children of the Salem High School Music Department are losing a student-facing teacher. The children of the Salem High School Music Department are losing the beating heart of their program. For some children of the Salem High School Music Department, they're losing the only reason why they show up to school every day, regardless of their home life and mental and physical health. The children of the Salem High School Music Department are losing the person that created a second home for them. And finally, the children of the Salem High School Music Department will have to watch Mrs. Napier-Kowski pack up 38 years of love and see her leave Salem High School through the same door she entered in August of 1987. Losing Mrs. Napier-Kowski in this capacity will forever change the face of the pride of the North Shore. As you look at the kids sitting before you, please ask yourself, how are the children without Mrs. Napier-Kowski in their everyday lives? We ask you to please reconsider the decision you have made. With pride, Annie Bednar.
Additional public comment?
Hi, my name's Em Clark. I'm a junior at Salem High School, and I'm speaking on behalf of Emmy Whitfield. Hello, Salem School Committee. My name is Emmy Whitfield. I graduated last year in the class of 2024, but I've known Mrs. Napier-Kowski for 9 years. When she led the 5th grade salt and stall flute section rehearsals during recess on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I got to know her better in 7th grade when I joined the SHS marching band, and even better through summer community band. This was even before I began attending Salem High School. Mrs. Napier-Kowski is often the first person from Salem High School that younger students in the district have contact with. She's the face of a very community-based music program that extends far beyond her position at Salem High. She's been involved with the elementary and middle school music programs. She works in the Salem State University Music Department that provides an extra way for SPS students to challenge themselves, and she runs the Salem Community Band. In addition, her connection to a wider regional music community brings students countless opportunities, including youth orchestras, music competitions, and summer programs. Mrs. Napier-Kowski has been a cornerstone of the Salem High community for so long because she represents all the best qualities and values of the school. She is unerring in her dedication towards helping the students of Salem High. It doesn't matter if you're currently in the music department. If she ever met you, she remembers your name and will make you feel welcome. She gives her time, skills, and expertise to so many extracurricular activities, including the theater department, sport events, and school rallies. To let her go is a short-sighted decision that leaves an already underfunded and underappreciated department on shaky ground as it figures out its next steps. Whatever money gets saved will be severely outweighed by the amount of experience and mentorship that is lost. This sends the message that even the most experienced educators might be let go in favor of saving a bit of money. The rest of the Performing Arts Department at Salem High School is incredibly talented, and the loss of Mrs. Napier-Kowski will be sorely felt for years to come. Thank you for your time, Emmy Whitfield.
Hello, my name is Alana Heenan. I graduated from Salem High in 2023, and I'm going to read a letter from a former faculty member at Salem High School and a parent of 2 Salem High School graduates, Mana Omoto Whitfield, whose children were both in the music program. To the Salem School Committee, I'm writing as a former faculty member of Salem High School and a parent of 2 SHS graduates. Our family moved away from Salem last year after waiting until our youngest graduated from Salem High School. As our 2 youngest children were entering 7th and 9th grade, we considered having them follow in the footsteps of their older sibling and attend private school in Cambridge. There were 2 factors that tipped the balance back towards staying in Salem. One was the diversity of the student body. As a multiracial family, the rich diversity of the student body and Salem's commitment to providing a just education was invaluable to us. Just as important to our decision was the strength of the performing arts program, specifically music and theater. Music and theater programs at Bentley, Saltonstall, and Salem High School have long been committed to providing as many points of entry into the program as possible. All of the music teachers literally run around town, cars full of spare sheets of music and instruments, cultivating a love for music. This love translates into discipline and community. At any graduation, it becomes quickly apparent that the majority of the top scholars are involved in the performing arts program. Many of the past members of various leadership positions and students in the AP, Project Lead the Way, and dual enrollment programs are also in the performing arts program. Additionally, every year, Salem High School graduates 3 to 4 students who enter college with the expressed intention of majoring in performing arts and/or music education. Many of its own teachers and directors of small groups are homegrown examples. Even more importantly, many high-risk students have successfully graduated from Salem High School in large part because of being in the performing arts department. So what is it about the performing arts program that enables it to have such a profound effect? So much of it comes from the consistency of leadership. Mrs. Napier-Kowski embodies that. She tirelessly demands excellence for herself, and she is literally everywhere in the performing arts. She has mentored, if not directly taught, all of the music and drama teachers. She is there as needed in any capacity as a choreographer, color guard coordinator, pit orchestra director, extra musician as needed, and most of all, as a seasoned educator. In a school that experiences so much turnover in its faculty and its administration, the Performing Arts Department is unusual in its continuity. This, again, is a function of having a seasoned educator who has grown the program from a tiny department to one that is literally the pride of the North Shore. Whether in marching band competitions, MICA trials, drama competitions, or representation in regional ensembles, Salem High School always punches well above its weight class. Ms. Napier-Kowski has leveraged her seniority to ensure that some of the most valuable, most vulnerable students have a home in the Performing Arts Department, giving them the skills, stability, and support necessary to graduate. As a teacher at SHS, I was relieved whenever a high-risk student that I taught found their way or were heavily recruited into the Performing Arts Department. Like the ROTC, the community within community that the Performing Arts Department provides boosts their chances of success immeasurably. Ms. Napier-Kowski is the beating heart of the Performing Arts Department. It is her selfless leadership that has nurtured countless generations of scholars and teachers. In this time of budget cuts, it would be easy to see the senior teacher as easy choices to cut because on paper, their salary would free up dollars for newer teachers. That comes at the expense of the very teachers who help combat the turnover that undermines the stability that so many of our students lack in every other aspect of their lives. The Performing Arts program at Salem High School and the whole district is the strongest and most consistent program. Above athletics, above academics, departments, above JROTC, and any other program. Rather than undermining it, Salem Public Schools should be using its strength to lead its students to all-around excellence. Ms. Napier's premature departure would seriously undermine the program and would would affect experienced teachers from committing to the Salem Public School system. Sincerely, Mana Omoto Whitfield.
or comment?
My name is Julia Rebello, and I'm a Salem High School graduate from the class of 2023. Firstly, I want to thank Annie Bednar for her beautiful speech and incredible bravery in standing up for what she believes in. Secondly, I would like to express my sincere regret to all of the beloved Salem Public Schools employees who are losing their jobs as a result of budget cuts. I will now share two statements from Fiona Bautista and Carla Zokir Urbaez, graduates from the classes of 2021 and 2022, respectively, who unfortunately could not be here tonight, but have requested that I share messages with you on their behalves. This is from Fiona Bautista, a graduate of Salem High's class of 2021. My time at Salem High is a time I hold in high regard. I was and still am very proud and happy when I look back at those memories, and a lot of that is because of my time in the music department, a department that Cynthia Napier-Kowski has put her heart and soul into. It would be impossible to say that the musician I am today is not a direct reflection of the teaching I received from Mrs. Napier-Kowski. I, alongside several other alumni of Salem High School, know the passion Mrs. Napier-Kowski has. We know the joys of having her as an instructor, the life-changing lessons beyond just music, and the beautiful community she builds so everyone can have a space where they belong. I am the person I am largely because of my time with Mrs. Napier-Kowski. The way she loves her students and her job is incomparable, and the idea of losing her as an instructor would be a great disservice not just to her current students, not just to the music department, but the entirety of the Salem Public Schools community. I can count on one hand the number of teachers that have changed my life and my friends' lives, and Cynthia Napier-Kowski is the first person on that list. And this is from Carla Zokir Urbaez. Mrs. Napier-Kowski has become like family to many people, especially to current and former students. Besides touching our hearts, she has provided us with unique and valuable educational experiences. Without her, the music program would not feel the same. I will now share with you a speech that I have prepared for you all. First, I wholeheartedly agree with everything that Annie, alumni, and parents have shared here tonight. During my time at Salem High School, I witnessed and experienced unjust administrative decisions. However, the decision to force out Mrs. Napier-Kowski after her years of dedication to the Salem Public Schools and its students is your most outrageous decision yet. I transferred to Salem High School in 2020 during the pandemic. Mrs. Napier-Kowski kept the Salem High School music department alive and thriving. Mrs. Napier never gave up. As I transitioned to Salem High School, I quickly realized that Mrs. Napier had a unique ability to foster a sense of community. While Salem High School didn't always feel like home, the marching band program that Mrs. Napier created and directed always did. From kindergarten through 12th grade, I attended schools in 3 districts and learned from dozens of teachers. But I've never met anyone else like Mrs. Napier. She is the hardest working and most dedicated teacher I have ever known. She has never cared about winning. Mrs. Napier instead focuses on challenging her students and helping them to learn and grow as musicians and human beings. No other teachers I have ever known have challenged me and pushed me to grow as much as Miss Napier. No one else can do what she does. My story is just one of many. Mrs. Napier-Kowski has a profound impact on the lives of every student that she teaches. Current students of Salem High School sit before you tonight, telling you they need Mrs. Napier. They are not ready to give up her invaluable guidance. They are a testament to Mrs. Napier's dedication. She has never given up on any of us, and we will not give up on her. When I was a senior in high school, I had the opportunity to participate in various senior traditions within the music department, which I cherished. I knew these were my last moments, not only with my friends, but with prominent mentors like Mrs. Napier-Kowski. The current students of Salem High School, especially rising seniors, are being deprived of those experiences. Mrs. Napier-Kowski won't be conducting Friends at their marching band senior night or pomp and circumstance at their graduation. They won't experience their final concert or their last banquet with her by their side. While it is normal to say goodbye to teachers as they move on and retire, forcing Mrs. Napier out without warning or giving students the proper time to process and say goodbye is a disservice to the students in the Salem community. I am here to tell you, you are forcing out your district's most dedicated teacher. While I acknowledge the unfortunate realities and difficult decisions that come with budget cuts, you are making the wrong decision. There is room to grow the Salem music program and propel it forward without forcing out an experienced teacher who has dedicated her entire career to the Salem School District. This decision feels to me like a very disrespectful send-off for a beloved teacher who has given so much. I understand that this is a situation where there are no good choices, and we will have to lose valuable members of our community one way or another. Still, Mrs. Napier-Kowski is the heart of music in our district and an irreplaceable mentor to so many former and current students. I firmly believe this is the wrong decision, and I strongly urge you to reconsider your choice.
Additional public comment in the chambers?
Hello, school committee. I don't have a long speech written for this, but I have been involved in some capacity with Ms. Nabrikowski for the past 4 years, since 8th grade when I started marching band. And lately, I've been struggling with music in terms of had a lot going on my junior year between sports, between academics. But when sophomore year, I decided to drop marching band in favor of cross country. The teacher with the most passion in this program, Ms. Nabrikowski, was the first person to go up to me and help me still remain involved with the program by assisting at all their concerts. And she was the first one to support me in my decision because she knew that was what was best. And she knew that I had a really strong passion for running, as strong a passion as she has for this program that she's served for the past 30 years. My family, we made Christmas cards every year, and this year we did a baking-themed card, and on the back I had a recipe that I created for cookies, and what do I know? A few days later, when I go into Wind Ensemble, she has an entire batch of those cookies, one for every single student in the band program. That's the type of teacher Ms. Nabrikowski is. And when you get teachers like that, you don't let them go. You cherish them and you hold on to them. Thank you.
Member Cruz?
Point of information. Could we just get the name of the advocate that just came to the stand? I know the name, but we have members participating in public.
Brooks Workman.
Thank you.
Additional comment?
Good evening. My name is Anais Acevedo. I am a Salem resident. I'm here based on the Salem's proposed ban on religious groups using the school space. Hello, Salem School Committee. My name is Anais. I am a Christian woman, a wife, and a proud resident of Salem for over 21 years. I'm also a mother of 4 boys, 2 whom which graduated from Salem Public Schools and 2 who still currently enrolled. While my children were born in the next town over, they've lived in Salem their entire lives. This is their only home they've ever known. It's where we've built our life, our family, and our community. My husband was born and raised here, so Salem runs deep in our family roots, and so does the love and commitment to it. I also serve as one of the leaders at House of Promise Church right here in Salem. We're a small congregation. We don't have the budget for shelters or food pantries yet, but we show up. We support struggling families. We offer space to talk, to pray, to cry, and to heal. We mentor youth. We talk with people through trauma, not with judgment, but with love and compassion. And churches like ours are not the exception. Across the city, faith communities are doing the quiet, consistent work of showing up, especially when it comes to no one else. This is why I'm here tonight, to express deep concern about the proposed policy to ban religious organizations from renting school buildings. This isn't just a facility issue. It's a people issue. It's a kids issue, a community issue. This policy sends a harmful message that people of faith and the groups that they built are no longer welcome in the public square. This is not inclusion, that's exclusion. And it's based on assumptions, not evidence. We are not asking to bring religion into our classrooms. We're not asking for special privileges. We're asking for equal access, to rent a space just like anyone else, to continue serving the same community that we all care about. But let me ask you to really think. If your youth group wants to host a mental health night at a school gym, and it's run by a church group, is that more dangerous than silence and suffering? If a church wants to hold a grief group or a holiday gathering, and they're paying rent just like anyone else, what exactly is the threat? We say we want to support students, but students need more than academics. They need community, they need mentorship, and they need emotional safety. And often the people best equipped to help them through these hard times and hard things are those who've lived through the hard things. As a mom of 4 boys, 2 of which have grown, and 2 who are still navigating today's world, I've seen the anxiety, the identity struggles, and isolation. And I've also seen the healing that comes when youth are surrounded and grounded by compassionate adults, whether it's in a classroom, a home, or a church basement. So again, I have to ask, can this district really afford to turn away willing partners in a time like this? Do you believe that there are too many people lining up to support our youth? Because right now, churches that are in the line, they're ready and willing to help. We've also been told that churches might be misaligned with the district's values, but I ask, what values are we really talking about? In our schools, gender and identity are taught and celebrated, and even when my beliefs differ, I still teach my sons to respect others, to show love, to listen, to never respond with hate. But I ask again, where is the same respect for us? If we teach our children that they have a voice and that their voice matters, why is my faith-based voice being silenced? If I claim to value equity, where is the equity for my people of faith? We do not need less community in our schools. We need more. Less fear, more trust. Less division, more understanding. And to the committee, I respectfully ask, what precedents are you setting here? If you deny one group access because of their belief, who's next? What happens when your values no longer align with the popular narrative? Policies based on fear don't age well. And when one door closes like this, they don't reopen easily. Not in a time where kids need what's inside. We're not here to fight culture wars. We're here to fight for our children. We are not here to divide. We are here to build. We are not outsiders. We are your neighbors. We are not the problem. We are part of the solution. So I ask you, please reconsider this proposal. Don't punish churches for doing work others can't or won't. Don't tell our children that their faith excludes them from belonging. We're not asking for power. We're asking for partnership. Thank you for hearing me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kendra Key. I'm a pastor at Calvary in Linfield, soon to be Calvary Salem, hopefully very soon. And I do productions, theatrical productions, and I work with our married programs and our women's program as well. It's an honor to be with you all tonight. Thank you to the mayor, the superintendent, the school committee, and those in attendance tonight for the opportunity to just speak with you all. I had such a great experience with you all last time. It was just amazing to hear from members of this community. My favorite was hearing from the students and their school project. So thank you for giving this opportunity tonight. I'm here along with my husband, who is also a pastor on our staff, as well as fellow pastors in our community and members from our church family. We're here not only as residents and leaders, but as neighbors who care deeply about this city and its future. Our hope is to offer a thoughtful perspective as you consider these proposed changes to the policy governing the leasing and renting of the school district facilities. We understand that it's been brought to your attention that the proposed policy change as it's currently written would create an issue as it would violate the First Amendment's free exercise clause, which ensures that religious organizations receive the same benefits and resources that any other community organization would receive. Based on prior discussions from this committee, I'd like to respectfully offer a constructive suggestion, a simple yet meaningful revision to the policy language that could serve both the school district and the wider community equitably. Perhaps you could add a statement that reads something like, the Salem Public School District does not endorse, support, or assume responsibility for the beliefs, viewpoints, or standards of any organizations that lease or use its facilities. Such a clause would create the consistency to your policies that you are trying to uphold, while also still leaving room for all members of our community to have equal access to resources and opportunities. Just this past weekend, we had the joy of volunteering at the Fiesta in La Calle with the North Shore CDC, alongside many of you, including Mayor Pangalo. And it was a beautiful celebration. It was filled with love, with service, and with shared purpose. That spirit, that vibrant sense of community, is the Salem that I know and that I cherish. And it's in that spirit that we hope to continue building partnerships with the school district in a way that reflects and represents the diversity of our residents. Several of our church members are students in the public schools, including Salem High, like Savannah, who you'll hear from in a moment. They and others of various faiths deserve to be included in this conversation. Within your classrooms and your hallways walk students and faculty who identify as Christians, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Catholic, and many more. Just as they are welcomed to bring their full selves into your schools, organizations that reflect those identities should be afforded equal access to public spaces. We've seen many churches and ministry friends and colleagues with this kind of partnership modeled across the North Shore, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and the country. Just recently, we actually visited our friends at City on a Hill Church in Brookline, who rent space from the Florida Ruffin Ridley School. They spoke so highly of their partnership with the Brookline Public School District and even offered us guidance on how to cultivate a relationship built on mutual respect and shared goals. Faith-based organizations meeting in schools is not a new concept, and time again, it has proven to be a benefit to both the religious groups and the schools that they partner with. Please know our intent is not to simply use the school's facilities for our own needs. We are here to serve. We are here to contribute. Our desire is to be an added value to what the City of Salem and the school district are already doing so well. At the heart of this is a call for collaboration. No matter our backgrounds, beliefs, or traditions, we all share a responsibility to help Salem thrive, to create spaces where every resident has the opportunity to participate, to belong, and to build something greater than themselves. As my dear friend Lin-Manuel Miranda so powerfully reminds us, history has its eyes on you. So I leave you with this question: how will we choose to move forward and come together to contribute to Salem's enduring legacy of resilience, diversity, and transformative community impact? Will we rise to the moment, write a new chapter grounded in compassion and unity, and become the kind of ancestors that future generations will be proud of? Thank you so much for your time.
Is there additional comment in the chambers?
Hi, I just want to start and thank Pastor Kendra for encouraging me and supporting me when I mentioned interest in speaking in front of the Salem Public School Committee. My name's Savannah, and I've been going to Salem Public Schools since 2018, and I've been going to Calvary my whole entire life. I'm currently ending my 10th grade year, and I'm here on behalf of the youth, my friends, and many others that aren't as fortunate or have a voice in this community. We knew about the community groups on Wednesday, and that were happening down the street at Salem High School, and we were excited to expand our church and connect with people who don't have transportation to our Linfield campus. This past week, I was informed that you guys are proposing a change to your policy, which wouldn't let us start meeting on Sundays as we originally planned. Even though I'm constantly at the Linfield campus multiple times throughout the week and on Sundays, losing this opportunity for my community was devastating, to say the least. I'm so grateful that I was raised in the Salem community, one that I'm always reminded to have your eyes with pride and that it's greater to be great or to have a perfect day. I was just as grateful to be raised in the Calvary community, where from a young age I was taught to love your neighbor as yourself, to respect others, and to love like Jesus. Right now, there's a chance for the two places that I love to collaborate and work together. That's one that I don't want to let pass by, especially after all the hard work that many of the people have gone through to make this happen. I'm here to give you guys a different lens in this situation, one from a student active in your community, for you to get a glimpse of who this could help. Many of my friends from Salem want to come to the different events at my church but don't have a chance to because of the distance. I want you to hear from someone who balances going to different events from both communities throughout the week. I'm here to ask you if you could reconsider your decision, just to speak over it again, sleep on it, and think about it a little bit more. See how this would do nothing but help our city and benefit everyone. Let me see the amazing Salem community that I'm proud to be a part of. Thank you and have an amazing rest of your evening.
My name is Sterling Key. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share. Just quickly share a little bit about our story. My wife and I were here at Bentley Elementary in 2012. Helped launch a church, lived downtown in Salem. And we actually moved to East Hartford for 8 years. And the church that we had helped launch closed down during COVID. It was obviously difficult times for everybody. And my wife, after being at 8 years at the church we're at in East Hartford, I looked at her and said, hey, if we were going to leave this church, where would our next step be? And she said, we would launch a church in Salem, of course. And so I told her, I said, it's exactly what's been on my mind and my heart. And so 3 years ago, we moved back here to the North Shore of Boston. Currently, I'm working in recovery at our church. My mom's 27 years clean and sober. So it's been a thing I celebrate. It's been a full circle coming back around. And so now we're in this process of launching a church here in Salem. So I just want to hit on two ways that the reason I believe we're standing here, and you've heard a few people from Calvary and other churches, but I believe we add value to the school system, to the city. One of the things I really believe in my heart for the school, I understand there's obviously the additional, the rent, those things, auditorium, library, but for us coming in, we're asking ourselves, how could we help and be a part in some ways? We had found out that the drama department is able to rent equipment, which is the sound booth, the lights. I mean, it looks awesome. They had it all set up when we went and looked in the building. But we found out that was just for 2 weeks. It was $5,000 for those 2 weeks. So that's $10,000 total. So we had presented when we sent the letter in to the principal and just said, hey, could we bring our equipment, purchase it, and leave it, and let students work on that, practice their gifts, their abilities, learn on those things that I believe many will benefit in the long run. That is one way. We also presented hey, I know there's going to be years down the road, some things happen at the high school, but if you pick the carpet, we'll pay for it. We'll take care of it. We'll put new carpet in. We noticed the seat had some wear and tear. We'll help. So we're trying to find ways to be an additional value and benefit also to the students. And the second thing, obviously you're hearing the theme of we have many students, faculty, and people in the community of Salem. For us at Calvary Linfield, we have over 300 people who come from Salem and come to our church in Linfield. The same with the city of Linton. So our church runs an average of 1,500, 1,700 people. And so when we discussed coming here to Salem, coming back into the city, it's obviously we're saying, hey, let's have community where our people are at, where they're coming from. Give them a safe place to come and worship. And so we as churches, we are here to serve and giving hope, healing, and purpose in their lives. I get to do that in Celebrate Recovery. Right now I have probably 80 to 100 people at our Celebrate Recovery working on their recovery. And we're going to actually be launching some open share groups and partnering with First Baptist Church here in Salem, probably within the next month, launching some recovery groups here. So many who've been here sharing. We know that some of them are part of the school district, either that's faculty or students. Savannah spoke. We have our Spanish-speaking service runs a little over 250 people. A gentleman named Jordan, who graduated at Salem High, is now pursuing his career as being a pastor. And so I just want to thank you for the opportunity to stand here today. I'm looking forward to meeting each of you. And my wife mentioned the festival. I actually chased down the mayor just to say hi, just so I could meet you the other day. But I'm looking forward to shaking all your hands. And I and Calvary Christian Church are truly looking forward to more opportunities of partnership with the city, with the schools, and other nonprofit organizations in the city of Salem. Thank you.
additional public comment, please feel free to come on up to the podium. And I'll take this opportunity to remind everyone to turn off the sound on your devices, the ringers, anything that you may have that may make a noise, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tracy Faylock. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. This is more of a testimony on my behalf, so pardon if I cry a little bit, but for the longest time, I would never talk. I'd keep myself far away from people because I was ashamed of who I was for the longest. And if it wasn't for the House of Promise Church, honestly, like, I don't even know where I'd be right now. My pastor, I think, knew before I was even able to speak about me being gay. So this is kind of my coming out story, guys. So, for the longest time, it was an embarrassment to me. But going to church with them, with my brothers and sisters in Christ, showing the love that they have for me, it made me feel more comfortable in speaking out and actually being more comfortable in my own skin, to the point where even my pastor invited me to like create a group for people that might be going through the same thing I'm going through, and being able to embrace who I am. And I thank him for that. And obviously his wife, Marlene. We have Bible study every Wednesday, not at the school, but we have Bible study every Wednesday, and there's always a message. God is everywhere. Whether you think he's not, he's there. Whether you think that the message isn't being given to you by someone that you don't even know, trust me, he's doing it. And he's been doing it for the past couple of weeks. And this by far was the perfect time to announce and say how I am, and how I know no matter what, God has my back. God is with me. My brothers and sisters in Christ have my back. They love me for who I am, just like God does. That's a safe space for me. Like, it makes me feel like I could be myself and not fear like what people are going to think about me or look at me, because they love just who I am. And I can't stress how important that is, because when you deal with this your whole life, it's like a huge boulder off your back. So I really hope you guys reconsider and you don't take away my safe space, because you're all I got. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Juliana Sousa Abreu. I'm a 17-year-old junior student, and more importantly, I'm a current leader at the House of Promise Church. First of all, I want to thank Tracy for giving her testimony and for speaking out on our behalf. I also want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to give our opinion and to speak with you guys personally. I mainly am a children ministry leader at the House of Promise Church, meaning that I deal with children. You know, I teach them weekly as we switch, but I do have one of the deepest connections with the children. From ages 1 all the way until 16 years old. As I'm only 17, I can grow personal connections with them as being so young and understanding things that they may go through. I come from a very broken household with a single mother, someone that has struggled, that I've seen struggle my entire life. House of Promise Church was somewhere that they accepted me, that they didn't judge me for what I was going through, for times that I would miss church, but that they supported me. Maybe not financially, but emotionally. They were always there when I needed a shoulder to cry on. They were always there when there was something that I needed to talk about that maybe I was not as comfortable speaking about at my household. I never really had my mother around, but I can always pick up my phone and text my church group chat or text one of the leaders. They will always take the time out of their day to text me back, to give me a call, and to always make sure that I'm okay. This is a very big decision to make, taking religious organizations out of Salem Public Schools. I currently go to Peabody High School. I do not go to Salem. I understand that this is very maybe not aligning with the things that you may believe, but not everything's going to align with what you believe. things don't align with what we believe, but we still maybe not support but respect. We teach the children there to respect one another, to respect the things that they see, even if they may not believe in it, and to never spread hate as Jesus never spread hate to us. Because if life was fair, we would also be on crosses. Every day we wake up, we have our daily routines, brush our teeth, go to school, go to work, whatever it may be. There are things that we're not going to like. There are big decisions to be made. And if everything worked in everyone's favor, nobody would win. I would ask you to please reconsider the decision, as it is a safe space for all of us there. No matter your age, no matter your religion or what you may be going through, we've always offered open arms and a place for you guys to speak. As we may not support you financially, we will support you with prayer. We'll always be there if you need someone to talk to, as we may take time out of our day at work or at school. And we unite as one, just as you guys have here to hear one of us. So I please ask you that you reconsider your decision of removing all religious organizations from the school. And I thank you for your consideration, and I thank you for hearing us out. God bless you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? I know you guys have been listening to a lot of testimonies and messages, and I wasn't going to talk tonight. I just decided to speak and tell my story. I just moved from Arizona 3 months ago, recently divorced, with a son who has a mental health condition. And prior to moving here, I had a home church in Arizona, and I sought for a church in Salem due to the fact that my brother lives here. And the only church that I found was House of Promise. And everyone has their beliefs, but we can all agree to get along and respect each other in that. We can agree to disagree. There is a way to be peaceful and not agree on the same things. I'm currently homeless and living out of my car. And it's not to be a sob story, but my pastors, not knowing me 3 months, offered me to live in their driveway to be safe. Now offered me their house, and I denied that because I'm a little prideful. And I decided to live in my car because I can thug it out, like they say. I'm a survivor. As a Latina woman, coming from a divorce out of 25 years with a son with schizophrenia and trying to find solace somewhere else to get a fresh start, I really pray and hope that we can get along, that we can just set everything to the side and agree not to take churches out of the school system. I beg you, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rylan Pena. Myself, I wasn't going to talk, but God put it in my heart to talk. So as my sister said, to reconsider religious organizations. These past 2 years, I've been following, obviously, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's been helping me through this journey, dealing with a broken household, a dysfunctional household. Having family doing drugs and dealing with alcohol and dealing drugs. I chose a different path. And obviously, House of Promise Church, they were there for me. Ever since, I can step in, and actually they accepted me because it says in the Bible to come as you are. And ever since then, I've just been on a journey and finding myself, and to be actually both here to speak to everybody here. And it just hurts me to say that when you guys take away a religious organization, it's like taking a part of me away, because it's something that I cherish and love to do. Because I'm also not a leader at House of Promise Church, but I'm also a worshiper. And whether you guys like it or not, but I'm going to stay 10 toes down on my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I pray and I hope that you guys do reconsider all religious organizations. Thank you.
My name is Pedro Fabre. I'm a resident of Salem, living 4 Border Street. The irony of Salem, Massachusetts is the pilgrim left the country to be able to express themselves, being free. I want to thank you, the mayor, the chairman, the assistant superintendent, and everybody else here. I immigrated as well from another country here 34 years ago, trying to find equality, able to really express, able to grow, able to share with others, not to force anything on anybody, but to be able to share. Share is nothing wrong with sharing, but it's wrong with forcing things. And sometimes the school system forces things that we might not like to our children. I was lucky enough, blessed to be here in this country, to be able to homeschool my kids. That's a blessing. Because I came from another from a country that I was not available to do all this stuff. Here, the great opportunity was for me to be able to do it without forcing anybody. We Christians don't force anybody to believe what we believe, but we share our beliefs. Did that make a difference? You guys are, most of you guys understand it directly. You guys are educators. We don't force it. We share. And if they want to believe, guess what? You believe it. It's up to you. So I hope, my prayer for you, all of you, is that you think about it. Because one day, all of us going to be facing our Creator. And we all going to be responsible, going to be held accountable for our decision. This is not, please hear me right. Don't think that as a threat. This is something that's important for us to hear. How much we care about our community. Everybody else here care about the community. That's why we're here. We're not here to talk about ourselves, to self-proclaim how good we are. We understand one thing. We're sinners, saved by what? By grace. We're not here to point a finger to anybody else here. We're here to say, thank you. Take in consideration our community to be equally. Because this is what this city, 34 years been in Salem, doing a lot for my community. From the time that I stepped right here in Boston, Logan, I never have moved step out of Salem, Massachusetts. So I hope, I'm a Salemite. I'm from Salem, and I'm proud to be from Salem. And I hope we make history and not just take equality out of the equation from Christians as well. Thank you for hearing me out. Appreciate it, all of you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for your time. My name is Dania, and I was a Salem resident for 30 years. I am one of the leaders at House of Promise Church. I just want to say that our church and many others like it are here to serve and uplift the community. We value inclusion, kindness, and creating safe spaces for people of all backgrounds. Banning religious groups from renting public spaces sends a message of exclusion and not unity. I hope we can continue to build Salem
that keeps welcoming everybody. Thank you for your time.
Any further public comment from the chambers? Any public comment online?
There's one, but it was from a while ago, so I'll allow them to talk.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good evening, members of the Salem School Committee. My name is Nine Sapers. I'm a junior at Harvard and co-founder of the CPR Ambassador Program, created with Crimson EMS, Harvard's emergency medical service, and the American Heart Association. I'm here to ask you to support a resolution for 5 bills at the State House, ones that would simply declare Salem's backing for statewide efforts to give every Massachusetts student a brief life-saving lesson in hands-only CPR and AED use, without imposing any new mandate or costs on Salem schools today. Each year, more than 350,000 Americans suffer sudden cardiac arrest outside a hospital, and fewer than 1 in 8 survive. Bystander CPR can double or even triple the odds of survival, yet Massachusetts is still only one of 9 states that do not require CPR training for graduation. As a result, many young people leave school without the skills that could save a parent at the dinner table, a teammate on the field, or a stranger on the street. Last fall, our program, CPR Ambassadors, trained more than 60 Massachusetts high school students. In just a few months, they have led over 80 quick trainings for their classmates, gathered more than 225 petition signatures, met with legislators, and partnered with local EMS agencies, showing how quickly students can master and spread these skills. The statewide proposal is straightforward and affordable. A 30 to 45-minute lesson that fits easily into PE, health class, or an assembly. Inflatable mannequins cost about $40 per classroom, and durable multi-mannequin sets run roughly $2,000 and last a decade. 2 of the 5 bills now before the legislature would create grants to cover districts that need help funding these endeavors. Tonight, I'm not asking Salem to buy equipment or change its curriculum immediately. I'm simply asking the school committee to pass a non-binding resolution of support and, if you're willing, forward it to the city council so Salem can add its voice to Boston, Cambridge, Somerville, Taunton, Brockton, and Lowell, whose resolutions have already propelled Beacon Hill toward action. By adopting this measure, you'll empower Salem students to save lives, strengthen community resilience, and send a clear signal that your city stands behind statewide CPR education. On behalf of Crimson EMS, the American Heart Association, our CPR ambassadors, and the residents you serve, thank you for your time and leadership. I'm happy to resend the draft resolution as well. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Anything further online? Go ahead.
Good evening, Salem School Committee. My name is Wynn Stevick. I'm a junior at Salem High School, and I will be speaking on behalf of Mrs. Napier-Kowski in regards to her removal from Salem High. For the past few years of my life, I've been blessed with the opportunity to be a part of the Salem High Music's department under direction of Mrs. Napier-Kowski. As you've heard countless times previously, this is a teacher who has dedicated her life to the children of our community. She's kept a passion for performing arts live for literal generations and valiantly gives her time and effort into spreading education and providing support, all while managing an enormous group in Salem High School. This is the kind of teacher we need in our schools, a teacher who is resilient and dedicated and fair like Mrs. N. Personally, she has helped keep my joy for music, specifically classical and jazz trumpet, choir, and even drama thriving. She maintains the passion to learn in at least 75 students this year alone, not only in music, but also in AP preparation, MCAS, SATs, and everything in between. The music she brings affects people even outside of class. I know from experience what she can accomplish. She brings students and parents alike together. She is the home that upcoming freshmen are welcomed into and that seniors are always sorrowful to leave at their graduation. She is the reason that the passionate students of SHS are the way that they are: intelligent, disciplined, inclusive, compassionate, resilient, and respectful. This would not be the case without Mrs. Napier-Kowski. The premature removal of her from our school would mean killing this opportunity for generations to come. 38 years of experience speak for themselves that this teacher is a keystone in the Salem High School art community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That's it. Okay. Do we still have member Manning on by remote? We do. Okay. So our next order of business will be approval of the consent agenda. These are the minutes of the school committee meeting of June 2nd. Approval of field trip for Salem High School Marine Corps JROTC to Buzzards Bay from June 30th to July 3rd. A donation for transportation program, a donation from Salem State University for teacher stipends, and approval of the FY25 warrants of June 5th and June 12th. Member Cruz?
I'd just like to request the removal of the item number 2, approval of the field trip for Salem High ROTC, to be voted on separately.
So moved.
Move to approve the consent agenda without item 2.
Second.
Motion made by Member Cruz and seconded by Member Cornell. Roll call vote. Member Cruz?
Yes.
Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Manning?
Yes.
Member Miranda?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Member Cruz?
Move to approve the field trip for the Salem High Marine Corps JROTC Summer Leadership Camp.
Second.
Motion made by Member Cruz, seconded by Member Cornell. Roll call vote. Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Manning?
Yes.
Member Miranda?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Cruz?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Student representatives report.
So, unfortunately, as of June 6th, I've graduated. So, thank you. I say the unfortunately because I have nothing to report on in terms of Salem High School. So I'm hoping Dr. Wright can help me with that. But my plans as of now, after graduating, I'm attending BU in the fall, studying conservation biology and ecology in the College of Arts and Sciences. I just want to note that my time here on the school committee as the student representative has been nothing short of almost life-changing. I've never thought of having my voice be shown in this way, and I always love speaking out and giving my voice and opinion on things, but I never thought that I could in this way. And being able to hear from the public of Salem and being able to give my voice and my opinion in such a large stage for everyone to hear has been, I would never have an experience like this again. So I hope I do, but thank you for that.
Thank you, Mark.
So, Mark, we do have something for you. I just want to give one addition to the report. These are going to be hard shoes to fill, but we do have a new chair for next year. The students voted Sydney Sula will be a senior, will be the chair of the student advisory, not the chair of the school committee, but the chair of the student rep of the school committee. And the vice chair of the student advisory group will be Alexia Coleman, also rising senior, and Nevin LeBron will be the new Liberty representative on the as part of the group. And so very hard shoes to fill, but excited to work with them. They're also going to be working on a summer project around supporting newcomers coming to Salem High School. So looking forward to that. But Mark, we do have something for you. You don't get one of those plaques because you're not retiring, but you can come back to teach here, and then maybe 35 years later we can give you one of those. I don't know if anybody up here will be here at that point, but Mark, we do have something to give you if you want to come up front here. I decided to model it for you, Mark, so this is what you're getting out of these.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know what not pull-ups, pullovers.
Quarter zip.
Quarter zips, yeah. So. Thanks, Mark.
Mark, hold on. The City of Salem proudly honors and recognizes Mark Qualkenbuch, School Committee Student Representative 2024 to 2025, for your outstanding service and dedication serving on the Salem School Committee, representing your fellow students. You've shown excellent leadership skills in the Student Advisory Group, helped to gather informative feedback from students to convey to the School Committee. The feedback you work to collect has led to improvements that have enhanced student life. As you wrap up your time in Salem Public Schools, we thank you for your service and wish you the best as you continue your studies this fall.
And Mark, I also bring with me a recognition from the Massachusetts House of Representatives. I want to thank you for your service on the school committee. Student representative exists because in state law, students advocated for representation on the school committee. You did a remarkable job representing your peers, and now you're passing on the torch. So it reads, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives, be it hereby known to all, that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Mark Qualkenbush in recognition of your outstanding service, exemplary leadership, and steadfast commitment to student advocacy. Through your work with the Student Advisory Group, as the student representative, you gathered and conveyed meaningful student feedback that directly contributed to positive enhancements in student life. Our entire membership in the legislature extends its best wishes to you and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all of your endeavors. It's given this day on June 17th here in Salem. This is signed by the Speaker of the House, Ronald Mariano, and offered by me, your state representative and Vice Chair of the Salem School Committee, Manny Cruz.
That takes us to your report.
Okay. I just want to say one thing. I'm not commenting on any of the public comment other than to say I'm so proud that we had students speak on 3 different topics here tonight. And that is a real testament. It makes me very proud that students are coming to the school committee to talk about things that are important to them, and you all should. We've tried as a school system to support our students to have a voice, and I'm really just proud of all of you and our alumni too, who came to advocate for what they believe. And that's not discounting the adults' perspectives, but it is really nice to see young people who can advocate for themselves. So I'm really proud of all of you for that. Just a few things quickly to announce, share before we have our main presentation here tonight. I just want to point out that this is the last week of school and that Friday is the last day for the Salem Public Schools. I don't want anybody celebrating or partying here, but it's been a very successful school year, and I want to thank all of you, all of our students and staff, for a strong year. And we're off to the summer, and I just want to point out that the mayor has agreed to jump into the ocean to celebrate summer reading. He's doing that by himself, no one else.
So wait, a certain number of students have to read books over the summer. I'm not just going to do it.
And I think if the adults read enough books. No.
No. Adults don't count, just children,
I tried.
young people. So if you read 500 more books, the mayor and I will jump in with Mental Makeover, which is a organization, mental health, about supporting mental health, which is run by alumni of the Salem Public Schools. So we're excited to support them. But also anybody who reads, completes a reading log will be entered to win a ride on the Harbor Master boat, which sounds like the absolute coolest thing to ride in the harbor. And that Salem has a Harbor Master is super cool. And so that one student from every school will have the opportunity to win that prize. No adults, Ms. Campbell, just students. And then we do have community reads, which we are hosting a series of community reads for young adults and children. One is Accountable by Dashka Slater, and the other is Flying Lessons and Other Stories for readers aged 8 to 12. Last 2 things is we have a parent survey that's out that I want to make sure that our families give us feedback on the school system for the year, their child's experience. We have survey available English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Haitian Creole, so I hope people will take that survey. And our Summer Eats program, we do provide food throughout the summer to our students and not families. It's for students only, but it kicks off on the 24th at Mary Jane Lee Park from 4 to 6. I think the mayor will be there. I'll be there, and we'll be handing out the schedule for food distribution throughout the summer for any Salem Public Schools student that wants to access that over the summer. The final thing I just say is we hope that many of you will join us for the Salem Public Schools contingent as part of the North Shore Pride Festival. Salem Public Schools has always had or in recent years has had a group. Really appreciate the Salem Teachers Union who has teamed up with us on that. That is on Saturday, June 28th, beginning in the parking lot at 27 Congress Street. Be there between 11 to 12, and the parade kicks off at noon. It's a great celebration. It's important to our young people and the Salem Public Schools, and we hope to see many of you there. Those are just my brief comments, and now we have very fortunate to have members of our building committee. This here, our co-chair of the building committee is Rick Jones, who's here, and Paul, I'll just say Vichika or V, Mr. V, Dr. V is here too. They're going to be sharing, this is on your, Margaret's here. Margaret's here, is on our agenda is for the Massachusetts School Building Authority update. This is a little more involved than our typical update. This is a presentation that we gave to the community just a few weeks ago that Rick had given, and we thought it was important for the school committee to hear this. I also want to call out that our project manager is here, Margaret Wood, also to be part of this, but we're going to turn it over to Captain Jones here, who's going to lead us through this presentation. You all have a copy of the presentation in your packet.
Thank you, Dr. Zweig. Can you all hear me on this? Is this
Yes.
good? Okay. So yes, I'm Rick Jones. I'm a co-chair of the building committee for the high school project. I'm also a parent with kids in the district. I am an architect. I am not the architect for the project. I am just an architect who lives in town. So I got corralled by some people up there to be the co-chair of the building committee. So we have about 15 slides. I'm going to go relatively quickly, but I would welcome any questions at the end, and we're here for that. Where do I point this, Dr. Zweig? Oh, there it is. Okay. Did you want to say something about this?
Oh, sure. I can just take this. We just to give quickly, we had a master facilities plan right after the pandemic. We did analysis of all our facilities in order to submit our what ended up being a successful application to the MSBA. When I arrived here, the mayor at the time, Mayor Driscoll, had mentioned that there were some multiple unsuccessful applications to get a new high school here in Salem. And what we were told is that we needed to do a full-scale facilities analysis and include that as part of our application in order to be entered into the proposal, into the pipeline for a new high school. And with in partnership with Canon Design, we were able to have a series of community forums. They did a full analysis, and they added and they helped prepare this facilities plan that went with our application in 2022. We then received the very good news on December 21st, 2022, which was a very exciting day, that we were accepted into the program. We were invited. Because of our statement of interest was accepted by the Massachusetts School Building Authority. Doesn't mean that you automatically get a new building, but you have the opportunity, which we're now in the long, drawn-out process, which Rick is going to talk more about, in order to hopefully get a new facility at Salem High School. So now we're in the program, and Rick's going to talk to you about where we are and what exciting things are coming up next.
So
go ahead.
Oh, you can do it.
You want me to do this too? So why the project is needed, I think a lot of you talked about, well, a lot of you are students at Salem High, so you could deliver this slide better than I could, or alumni. The school needs a lot of work. Obviously it's obsolete in many of the spaces, both the academic and the art spaces at the high school. They're not set up for what we need for learning today. Especially the part of the building, the arts wing and the CTE wing, is not set up for our students to have what they need to be successful as we think about college and career opportunities. We want the state-of-the-art experiences for our young people, and our building isn't up to snuff. We also have major issues with our heating, our ventilation systems, Many of you know how hot it is when it's supposed to be cold, and how cold it is when it's supposed to be hot. And that's true across the buildings. And again, I think all our students could give testimonials about what that looks like, and our teachers as well around that experience. So we clearly need we thought we really, we needed a new facility. Also, it is a major energy hog. When we look at how much we spend, we know that the building is the most expensive of our facilities in Salem, and it just is a hog of and wasteful in terms of energy, which Rick will talk about in a second. We think it's our turn. We know that the rest of a lot of the communities around us have brand new high schools with facilities that match what the school looks like inside. While it's not the entire experience, we think our young people deserve to have the building that is a generational building, and so we think it's our opportunity to do that for our young people in Salem. So we're excited about the prospects, and you're going to hear a little bit about what this building will look like, or hopefully look like, from our chair, Jones.
So I know that what's on the screen is quite small. I'll just draw your attention to that big red arrow, which says June 18th. We'll be submitting what's called the preferred schematic report. That preferred schematic report will go to the Mass School Board Authority, and they will weigh in on that. They will provide feedback. And then you see a long blue bar after that runs from July through all the way up to Christmas. That's what's called the schematic design phase. Our architects and their design team, Perkins and Will architects, will be working on the schematic design process and delivering that in June. That will be submitted to the Mass School Board Authority, and then in February, the end of February 28th, I think it says, the School Board Authority will vote to approve that. If that gets approved, we will it'll go forward to the city for a vote. Correct, Mayor? For a debt exclusion vote?
In spring of 2026.
Spring of 2026. So it's a long process, as Dr. Zreich said. The blue bar that precedes the red arrow is everything we've been doing up until now. And for those who are on the school committee, you have in your packet, I think, the responses that the design team and the district gave to the comments from the Mass School Board Authority on the last submission. I think you'll be asked to vote on that later this evening. This is a more detailed schedule. I won't get into too much detail on this, but we are doing these regular community meetings. We had a meeting at the community center on June 3rd. We have a meeting Friday with the Salem Partnership. I'm here tonight to speak to the school committee and the public about the project. And we're going to continue these meetings through the summer and into the fall, as you saw in that June to December window. We are required by the Mass School Board Authority to look at 4 different approaches, and you see those across the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. From the left, we're required to evaluate solely a code upgrade to the building. We're required to look at a renovation-only scheme in the building. We're required to look at a renovation addition scheme, and we're required to look at a new construction scheme. As a building committee, the design team presented options. As you can see, there are some, 3, 4, 5 options for some of those that the design team, explored. The building committee elected to pursue the new construction scheme for multiple reasons, which I will get into as we go through the presentation here. So here you see a site plan of the existing property. So to orient you, Wilson is on the right-hand side, Highland is on the left top side. You can see Horace Mann in white there along Wilson Street, with the existing field behind Horace Mann that would stay in that place. The golf course is to the right. So if everyone's oriented, you see that the L-shaped parking lot is effectively in the same place as the existing parking lot, and that knoll of ledge and native planting that is just on the other side of that L-shaped parking lot would remain. What you see as a big green area in the middle is where the existing high school is today. So often for Mass School Board Authority projects or high school projects that do new construction, the new building is built on the playing field, the old building is torn down, and new playing fields are constructed where the existing building was. We can't tear down Bertram, that's not going to help us, but we are proposing that we would build between the existing building and Highland, and then tear the existing building down and provide new playing fields. Those new playing fields would be MIAA certified or compliant, baseball, softball, overlapping, and 2 soccer, lacrosse, multipurpose fields. Additionally, at the bottom right, you see an improved soccer field and 5 tennis courts. Again, all MIAA certified. And then you see the new building in white on the left-hand side, adjacent to Highland. Just zooming in, you can see quickly on the right-hand side, that's a new soccer field, and the 5 tennis courts. On the left-hand side, you see the overlapping softball, baseball, 2 playing fields. And there you can see the existing Horace Mann Field on the top right of that left-hand image. Generally speaking, if you orient yourself that the left-hand side of this is Highland and the right-hand side are those new playing fields, the intent of the design team is to open up the views from the building to the playing fields and create a kind of commons space, and to open up the view to Highland. And then you see that long red dashed arc that runs top to bottom. That would be Main Street. That would be the kind of main circulation that connects all the pieces together. So here you see the building footprint with the yellow are the circulation spines and the red is the stairs. You can see the main entry facing the new quad or common play area at the front of the building, and a secondary entry facing the parking lots for evening events, athletic events, special functions, and for the daycare, which needs a separate entry. I won't go into huge detail, but the ground floor is kind of dominated by those big program components that need ground floor presence, including the gym, the auditorium, and everything you see in that teal color there is CTE programs that are heavy, that require a lot of loading in, loading out, and heavy machinery. As you move up through the building, you see in purple and that gray color the general purpose classrooms. Again, the teal color are CTE programs. And that continues up 3rd floor, 4th floor, where you only have the southwesternmost wings are at the 4th floor. One of the things that the design team is exploring right now, this was kind of new in our last meeting with them, as they develop the overall site strategy, is how can the exterior ecosystems support the educational program of what happens inside. So for example, for culinary arts, for the CTE program that's focused on culinary arts, how can you do an edible garden? How can you do a teaching kitchen? How can you kind of engage the landscape? Similarly, with electrical, there is a plan to have solar at the roof and solar canopies over the parking lots. So how can the electrical program at CTE use elements in the site as a teaching tool? And so we go through each one of the educational programs on the left, and we're trying to align it with these exterior ecosystems that can be real-time learning, hands-on learning for students. So here's an image, sketch image of what the building might look like. So again, the parking lot is to the right, that playing field is in the foreground. You see the main drop-off for parents there looping up in front of the school, and Highland Ave beyond. So one of the things we've been talking about with the community is what does a yes vote mean and what does a no vote mean? So the cost of the school, and I'm sorry, this is very far away from me, but I believe that number on the right in the red box is 350 odd million, 354 million. So a no vote means what you're seeing along the left-hand side there is code, the 4 options I talked about: code renovation, renovation only, addition renovation, and new construction. If you vote no and you say we don't want to do this project, then the MSBA is not going to give the city of Salem any money. That means that you still need to do the code upgrade to the building. The building is not compliant with certain parts of the code. And it was one of the things cited in the last accreditation of the school was the district needs to address the facility needs of the school. So if you vote no, then you still have to do the code upgrades, which is a $354 million project. Yes, that is $100 million less than the new construction, which I'll get to in a minute. But there is no shared cost with the MSBA. So 100% of that cost is on the city. 100% of that cost is on the people who live in Salem. The projects would be spread out over 30 years. So you might do a $6 million job this summer and an $8 million job the next summer and a $10 million job the summer after that. And you have to build in 5% per annum escalation. So when you amortize that or spread that out over 30 years and you're building 5% per annum, the cost is going up very quickly. And even if you went that route, at the end of that, you would have a renovated building that would be code compliant. Teaching and learning models that Dr. Zweig talked about that are out of date in the building today would not be addressed. You're not moving walls around. You're not changing the interior of the building. You're just bringing it up to code. You would not have the expanded CTE programs. We're going from 8 programs to 10. You would have modest energy improvements, but we're trying to get to net zero energy with the new building so that utility cost is reduced to zero. Today, it's about $1 million a year in energy cost just to run the building. And so if we can design a building that is net zero energy, we're going to be saving or avoiding $1 million a year in energy utility costs. And so that would potentially put at risk student attrition and other potential negatives. A yes vote means, yes, it is $100 more. It's $100 million more. It's a $456 million project. It is a shared cost with the MSBA. That's going to be somewhere between 45 and 55% that the MSBA is going to contribute. And this is like a 30-year mortgage, basically, for the city. So, yes, taxpayers cover payments through property tax increases, but you would be covering the payment for the no vote as well. You still have to improve the school or you're putting accreditation at risk. But at the end of this new building process, you would have a new building that is current with future, really, teaching models, how people are going to be teaching in 5 years. You would have expanded CTE and arts programs, net zero energy, and you would have expanded athletic fields. Today, you don't have baseball and softball at the high school. This would add baseball, softball, and you'd have 3 MIA soccer fields. So, yes, it's more expensive, but it's more expensive on day one, but you're sharing costs with the MSBA, and you're going to get all this stuff out of it at the end of the day. Do we have public comment here? Do I take questions? No. Okay.
Well, from the committee.
From us.
From the committee. Okay.
Any questions from, Mark?
I noticed on the diagram that you have for the floor plans, I couldn't help but see that I didn't readily see a library at all.
That is a great question, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, Mark.
Walkbush. The MSBA calls it a media center. It's still the library, but the MSBA's nomenclature for it is a media center. So we still have a library, both a kind of closed library with books and kind of traditional library. There's a media component to that as well. And then we have I think they call it open media on the plans. There's an open media space that would be kind of open work area for students.
Okay. Thank you.
You're not the first person to ask that, by the way.
Member Campbell.
Can you talk a little bit about the cafe and the capacity of the cafe, as well as I see the dotted lines, but I'm not sure if that represents like pillars or structures or open space.
Yes. The Black Cat? Or General Cafe?
The general cafe
Right.
that's on the first floor by the
Okay.
lobby.
Okay. So the dashed lines indicate something overhead.
Okay.
That's a kind of architecture shorthand for things that are overhead. So that's like the main street running overhead. And you could look down into the cafe, so it's a double height space. I'm going to have to promise to get back to you about the seat count for the cafe, because I don't know that. But I can ask Perkins and Will that question.
Super. And then in terms of, I'm looking in particular at that dash line that comes down between the cafe and the lobby. And so I'm curious about if folks have raised sort of the proximity of that cafe into, I'm assuming, I didn't see, but I could have missed it. I'm assuming that is where the lunches will take place. And so I'm wondering about the proximity to the lobby in terms of like maintaining security with like a secure door right there. Can you just talk a little bit about like what that would look like, or if these have been things that have been raised by high school educators, for example?
I can't speak if they've been raised by high school educators. I'd have to, because I'm not in all those meetings.
Right.
But I will say the 6-month blue bar that is schematic design, all these things will be explored and addressed. But I will make note of that one in particular to raise that with Perkins and Will.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's really the only thing that jumped out at me from like a very large perspective. I just am having trouble visualizing such a large, busy space in a high school and also trying to maintain secure entry into the facility. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Very good. Thank you.
Other questions? I have a couple of leading questions because I may not know the answers, but I think it's worth asking. Is there any loss of parking on the site under the new plan?
No. We had a long discussion with the building committee. I don't think that's something dictated by the Mass School Board Authority.
No, it's, we talked about it, hi, I'm Margaret White.
Sorry.
The feedback we got was that the parking lot is overbooked for big events, but on a day-to-day basis, there's always parking. So we decided to stick with the existing parking count.
I think there was also some, I know when we were looking at the different models of renovation or new construction, there was some, I think the greatest value of a renovation option was the preservation of the Fieldhouse building. Is this Fieldhouse of a similar size, or?
This field house is commensurate in size to the existing field house. Just to speak on the renovation option and the renovation addition option, both of which were more expensive than new construction, largely owing to phasing. So having to do it in chunks and tear down the existing building or renovate the existing building and move students around and have temporary accommodations for students drove the construction cost for those to be $20 to $30 million higher than the new construction, where we're building the building adjacent and the existing building just perks along and keeps operating. We have a small area we have to demo, I think, but it wouldn't impact, we could accommodate that. But the student, yes, there's construction going on next door, but we're not in the building doing construction. So that was a money savings because it shortens the time, and time in construction is a very expensive thing.
Just on that note, I get that question comes up a lot: is how disruptive will it be when students are in school while this building is being built over, a period of 2-3 years? And then the big question I get all the time, which I know you've gotten, is when will we be moving into the new building?
The current schedule shows fall 2030.
Fall 2030, okay.
That the building would finish in June, July 2030, and then we would tear down the existing building and do the fields over the next 6 months. So the building would be ready for fall of 2030, but the fields would probably not be ready until the following spring.
And just to point out that the educators at Salem High, there were about over 120 that were part of a meeting about a week and a half ago, where they asked a lot of questions. I'm assuming, I think you mentioned this, but we'll have time to like process and read through their recommendations, their concerns, their questions about the space. This isn't like a done, just want to make sure people heard that this isn't like a done deal yet.
Right, and I know that Principal Burns put together a Google sheet, and he's kind of collecting questions from all the faculty and comments from the faculty, and the design team will go through all of those and make sure that things are addressed, or if they need to meet with people, they will do so. On the phasing, Dr. Zreich, I would just add that the building committee did vote to go forward with a construction manager at risk process, which is public construction law in Massachusetts, Chapter 149A. And they will be hired. That process has started, so the RFQ is being drafted now for them. They will start, if everything goes according to plan, in September they will be on board. And the kind of construction, logistics, where are construction vehicles entering, how is that impacting buses, like all of that will have to be worked through with the construction manager once they're on board.
And last question, if we do get a successful vote and support from the city of Salem, when would shovels go into the ground?
Oh, isn't it spring of 28? January of 28.
January of 28, okay.
So related to that, I know that this is on the site of the Salerno auto building. So I imagine that building will be demolished for the construction. And maybe this is more of a question for Dr. Zreich, but what will happen during construction with the automotive CTE program? Will they have a space to work from?
We thought we'd move into the mayor's office.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think we have to figure out what that, I mean, we're not going to compromise our programming. I mean, it won't obviously be the same until we get the new space, but we'll have to find a location. I think that's on the agenda to talk about pretty soon. I know that question has been floated around, but we're going to have to maintain the programming.
Yeah. Member Cruz?
One, I think, particular thing, I don't know if this is for Rick, you superintendent, or for Margaret, what's the rationale in the placement of the JROTC program? I see it on level 2 next to Health CR, close to the auditorium. Is there a particular, did we learn something about JROTC placement when we were taking school tours and other things, or is it just that's the space that seemed most apt for the program?
Mick, can I?
What?
I think the challenge of the program is that there is a real premium on the ground floor. There are some things that are on the ground floor of the existing building and in an ideal world might want also to be there. That's one of the ones that they're accustomed to being on the ground floor, but there were too many competing options there. So the decision was to put them on the second floor. I will say there is an alternative PE space on the second floor, so they're not completely separated, but the locker rooms are also on the second floor. So it's, there are things that there's some more going up and down in a building that's 4 stories tall and a building that's shorter than that. So.
I appreciate that, Margaret. I think on my end, I'm just trying to process some of the history around conversations around the program. So
absolutely,
I appreciate the insight.
And
there.
it was interesting. The MSBA asked in their comments, and what I thought was an interesting question, which was, what's the total greatest distance that a student would need to travel in the existing building from one class to the next, and what is the longest distance in the new building? So. Fact to remember. So in the existing building, that longest distance is over 800 feet. In the new building, it's a little over 600. Okay.
Thank you.
It's more compact because it's 4 floors, so there's maybe more vertical transit. But
I just wanted to, I was going to say what Margaret pointed out is that I just learned a lot about the premium on that first floor space. Like some of our CTE programs absolutely have to be on the first floor because the equipment's too heavy to get up to the second floor. It's just not practical. And we need to have space for our students with disabilities on the first floor. So once you start to see this sort of adding up on the first floor, you can see why everything gets bumped to the second floor, which is why I think it's really beneficial for members of this committee to like ask as many questions as possible. I had a whole bunch of high school students in my house yesterday asking me why the locker rooms are on the second floor. So, there's a really good reason why the locker rooms are on the second floor. You may not love it, but there's a reason. So, I wanted to say that, but also that, when Dr. Zweig says it's really, this isn't baked, everybody can still talk about it. I don't want to overstate how much can change. There are certain things that architects are people, so it comes up and they're like, oh, we didn't see that, or the teachers didn't catch it until maybe the third round. But major changes, like the auditorium's not going on the second floor. So those big changes probably aren't going to happen, but it's one of those things where I think everybody, the more you understand about the limitations that the MSBA puts on us and the limitations of our programming, helps us all to understand why things are mapped out the way they are in a building. So, I learned a lot, but, everybody, I'm going to just continue to throw Rick under the bus. Just send Rick an email. He'll answer you and explain it to you.
I will.
He will.
Mark?
One of the questions I get often, because people come to me about questions about the new building, because they know I'm the student representative, is regarding the field house. And so one of the courses you can take at the school is Project Adventure. And in doing so, you can sign your name on the roof and sign your name up there. And a lot of the questions they have are regarding the preservation of those signatures. So my question to you is there any plan to preserve those signatures at all in the new building?
I will commit to you, Mark, that I will talk to Perkins and Will about a way to honor that tradition, whether it's photo documentation of everything that's there, whether it's and creating some kind of art piece that kind of documents all that. But actually salvaging the existing ceiling is not going to be possible.
Thank you.
While we're on the subject of salvaging, I think there was a motion made a few years back, former school committee member Fleming. There's a door in the culinary arts room with a dent on it that may or may not have been punched by a school committee member, and he really wants that door. So, if there's a way to preserve that in surplus, that'd be greatly appreciated.
We're going to send it to your office. Other questions from the committee?
Thank you, Rick.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Somehow, I guess, Rick, you're the person that we go to for preservation, right? So anything we want to preserve in the new building, you're in charge of that, is that right?
Can I asked Brooke your question, Amanda. So the seating in the Black Cat Cafe is for 70.
Not the Black
Cafeteria.
Cat Cafe, the cafe. It's listed as a cafe, but I'm assuming it's a cafeteria. Yeah, I'm curious about the seating of that and
We'll
what
check on
yeah,
that.
thank you. I schedule a lot for schools, and I know the lunches reign supreme, and the tighter you have the cafeteria, the more lunches you have to stack, and it's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's based on, it's scaled for 3 lunches, so my guess is about 330 seats.
Yeah, my biggest concern around the cafeteria, I appreciate that. My biggest concern is literally the security of it and how it will function so close. That's really I appreciate it though.
Next on the agenda is just a quick update on our summer work projects. Ms. Pauley.
Yes, good evening. I did want to make one addition to your update on summer eats. At Mary Jane Lee Park this year, for the first time, we will also be serving adult meals. At our other sites, it is for children up to age 18, but at Mary Jane Lee this year, adults who accompany the children can also have a meal. So we hope to welcome families to dinner. So in the packet, there's a memo that looks like this. It is a list of our summer projects. I'm not going to read it to you, but I did want to, on behalf of Z, who is currently, well, I hope not at this hour, but was earlier coaching his daughter's softball game, so was unable to join us. I wanted to just give a quick overview of the summer projects that will happen in the Salem Public Schools beginning the week of June 23rd. So every summer, our custodial team does general cleaning throughout all the schools. This includes moving all of the furniture out of every classroom and cleaning it, washing the walls, counters, and cabinets, dusting the fixtures, changing the light bulbs, scrubbing and waxing the floors, changing HVAC filters in the interior and on the roofs of every building, shampooing classroom rugs, and cleaning the interior of the windows. So that happens every summer in every building. It is tricky. The timing of that is tricky in buildings that have summer school, which includes Salem High School, Saltonstall, and Witchcraft. So we do our best to strategically move around the workforce when summer school is in session. We get those buildings clean enough for summer school, which is to say clean, and then we do the deep clean in the other buildings. In addition to the general cleaning, we do maintenance. So every summer we spend about $5,000 in each building for repairs to our plumbing, so toilets, sinks, and leaks. This year we'll be replacing the cold water valves at the high school, and at Collins we'll be replacing underground sewer valves. We also do classroom moves. So this year we're anticipating that 50 teachers will be moving their classrooms, so we will support the moves district-wide. We will be installing additional cameras in the safety and security department at both Bates for the new playground and at Salem High School. We hope to have better coverage both of the playground and at Bates, also of the main lobby. And finally, and maybe especially good news to the group assembled here tonight, we do HVAC repairs in the summertime, and so we try to make sure that the air conditioning is working in every room in every building. It is cooler in the hall than it is in this room. We this year are planning to replace 2 failed compressors in the chiller at Carleton. We're looking at the chiller at Salem High School. We have someone coming out to look at the unit and make necessary repairs. We will replace 95 valves at Witchcraft, and at Bates we'll be looking at 17 failed control boards, and we'll be looking at what is not working in Collins. The last couple of things I would mention is first that we do have a list of large projects. That is what is on this list. Z wanted me to mention that he is happy to tour any school committee members around to see any of the projects. If you're interested this summer, he is very happy to take you to show the progress and also the work as it's underway. We do have the Bates Playground renovation starting the week of the 23rd, so we're very excited about that. We've got the new generator on order, and we'll be replacing generators here and at Witchcraft, both of which are obsolete. You can read more about the repairs to Bertram. We'll be resurfacing the track. And in terms of other play spaces, we are taking a minute to look at how we can be thoughtful about gym floors. We were fortunate enough, thanks to the efforts of Senator Lovely and Representative Cruz, to receive an earmark that will allow us to address the gym floor at the field house at the high school. We also, through the generosity of the Salem City Council and the mayor, received funding for the Horace Mann gym floor. So we're currently getting quotes for both to see if there's one that can be moved to the other, what that will cost us and what the timing is. So that is not on your list because we're still gathering quotes and figuring out the best and highest use of the money so that we're fulfilling donor intent and making sure we have a good play space, good safe play space for kids. And I'll stop there. Happy to answer any questions.
Miranda.
I have a quick question about the track resurfacing for Bertram. Can you just, and if you don't have this answer, that's fine. But I'm trying to figure out, like, how often do we have to do that? Like, is this a common repair?
That's a good question. These are extraordinary repairs, so I don't know what a typical preventative maintenance or ongoing maintenance schedule is, but I believe that the Bertram track has been in need for some time. There are a number of penetrations that need to be filled and addressed. So this is, I would say, more than the typical repair, but I'm happy to follow up on what that lifespan might be.
Thank you.
Member Hoffman.
I have a question about the field as well. Is it something that we're doing with
improper shoes on the track, or
Oh.
is this like, I mean, is this natural wear and tear, or is this something that we can also help prevent by putting up signage about like what can and cannot be used on our track just for future?
That's a great question, and I really don't know. It is my understanding that it is wear and tear, that, winters are what they are, and we haven't replaced or repaired the track in some time. Could it be better if people had different shoes? I don't know, but I assume yes.
Yeah, I think it's just normal wear and tear. There isn't anything destructive that anybody did. The only thing is the pit was run over by an ambulance, so the cover needs to be repaired on the pit. On the what is the jumping? Long jump. Sorry, I don't know my track terms, but I forget. I forget how long the track can last, but we're past its lifespan, and so it's just normal wear and tear. And there also we also had repairs to make for the speaker system there.
Yep.
I think those are being done this summer as well.
We'll be replacing the failed sound system.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Member Campbell?
I had a question. It's not so much about the signage that's being updated at Collins where they're adding Braille, but it made me wonder if Bentley has official signage in both English and Spanish, or if it's just in English with like a homemade placard underneath. I don't know if you know it, but I'd love if they don't have it, I'd love to.
I don't know it, but we are looking to get as much new signage as possible because we have, there's wear and tear that comes there, but also people move, we rename departments. So I think it's a great suggestion.
I think they have official signage in English and Spanish there.
Yeah, I can't remember not seeing it, but I don't remember seeing
I
it.
think they have updated it because I see I have the vision of the rooster everywhere, and that's post dual language. So on the little roosters on the different signs in English and Spanish. So, but we'll double check.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on the? No? Okay. You have a facility and operations report. Do you want to do that? Or do you have more?
Well, just there are transfers. I don't know if that's a separate item.
That's what's next on the
that's
agenda.
what's next.
Great. So I do have two transfers on the agenda for your approval. You might be asking why we would bring transfers that total $1,800 to this committee when the threshold is clearly $15,000. And the reason is because we have a practice when we move money from personnel to non-personnel, we ask for your permission to do so. So these are two end-of-year transfers that schools have requested, or that a school, the prep and the music department have requested to cover their end-of-year expenses. So that is why we would move money from stipends to non-personnel.
And I would note that this is not listed under motions and resolutions, so I'll entertain a motion to approve this transfer under this section of the agenda since it's posted there.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion made by Member Miranda, seconded by Member Cornell. A roll call vote. Member Manning? We still have a vote.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks. Member Miranda?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Cruz?
Yes.
Member Hoffman?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Unanimous.
Just my last thing to say for the school year is there's a lot of cupcakes. Please take one on the way out. That's your reward for being here for the entire meeting, and take some coffee with you on the way out the door. So don't leave us with any cupcakes. We don't want any little critters running around tonight. So thank you.
Steve has to bring them all home. Subcommittee reports. Do we have any subcommittee reports? Yep. Cruz?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to note a few things on process just with committees. I think it's just really important. So I just wanted to acknowledge first that we did receive a demand letter from the Massachusetts Family Institute regarding one of our policies that's up for third reading. I want to note that the subcommittee has not met yet, so by order of process and our precedent, the subcommittee still needs to consider the policy first, and then it would come to committee. And I just wanted to note with this particular demand letter that it hasn't just come to this body, but it's also gone to Fox News and the Boston Herald. And I'm really glad that these news organizations have taken an interest in the Salem Public Schools, and I hope that they'll balance their coverage by learning more deeply about why we're the #1 gateway city in the Commonwealth for public education. And I'll just note that my colleagues here on this committee, we serve on the school committee to ensure a high-quality education for our children, to give our educators the tools that they need to help them realize their potential, and to steward the resources of the public schools. And that means that when we talk about these particular policies, we do not and will not write policy on the basis of who stands in front of us. Our job is to think ahead to the next school year, 5, 10 years down the line, about the impacts of policy decisions and practices that affect all of our students. And we're a deliberative body, and we'll continue to debate the issues in the policies according to our processes as a committee. And for the record, I just, because I saw some of the coverage, the policy has not passed. It's been read twice. It still requires one more reading of the subcommittee since changes need to be made, and it's not clear how long that's going to take. Both the Herald and Fox News could at least accurately describe these processes as to not cause confusion when they're reporting on actions being taken by this committee. The onus is on the media to do their due diligence to write their story on the basis of, not on the basis of whether or not we're providing them with a comment. And just for the sake of transparency, it's one of my values. I've, over the last month and a half, talked to both the superintendent, the policy subcommittee chair during committee, and then in my check-ins with the superintendent about the need to revisit and propose and revise proposed language with legal counsel. And it's not because of a demand letter from or pressure from conservative news media, but it's because I was genuinely concerned about the potential impact that the proposed policy could have on our existing partnerships with the YMCA, which, for folks that may not be aware, it is a religious organization. It's a Christian organization that's done incredible work for our students in our community. And about the process, I just want to note on third readings, it would be unprecedented for this school committee to strike down or table a third reading before the subcommittee has had the opportunity to do the legwork of addressing the issues within the policy. We've received privileged advice from counsel, but that's come on individual conversations, not through the subcommittee process. So I myself have not had an opportunity to engage as a member of the policy subcommittee directly with legal counsel to further interrogate the legal and constitutional issues that were presented. Both the policy chair and the superintendent have had the opportunity to engage with legal counsel, and we will have many full subcommittee meetings to continue to examine the policy. And there's one thing in the letter that I just wanted to point out that I just thought it was a teaching moment. And it was a line that read that the pleas of folks that were coming to public comment 2 times fell on deaf ears at the school committee meetings. And I'm just happy to talk a little bit about the context of our decorum as a body. It's actually one of the policies that we have in the 6000s because it is one of the best practices related to running an efficient school board meeting. And it's the nature of public meetings that this is a limited public forum. So while it is a public meeting, it's more of a meeting in public. We're here primarily to conduct the business of the school committee. So we don't respond to public comment made at school committee. I know it's a little awkward. Unlike what you would see at a public hearing or at town hall, the public comment period is the public's time, and the rest of the meeting time is ours to finish our business. The place to really handle follow-ups, operational concerns, and other matters that may be raised is with the superintendent and his designees. We handle the governance matters. I know that there are those that are watching from home at these committee meetings, and they think that it's a little strange that folks will come up and provide impassioned pleas, and that you don't hear much more than a simple thank you from the chair. We've worked really hard as a committee to clean up our decorum related to the public comment period over the last 8 years that I've served. This is to ensure that we hear you, the public, when it's your time, with the intent to listen, not with the temptation to just respond. And so as we think about any engagement related to the public comment period that you may see from school committee members, it's usually clarification around dates, requesting folks to repeat information that we may have missed, and the occasional affirmation of a young person who might be bravely standing at the rostrum providing testimony for the first time. Every single person on this committee, who I know very well, is really processing information in many different ways in between meetings. And we have individual committee members who are always open to meeting requests with stakeholders. And yes, occasionally we miss an email. I also want to address some of the things that I heard from some of our pastors. For the first time, I'm seeing many of you at our school committee meetings, and all of you represent various different groups, some that are underrepresented, that don't normally engage with the committee and the district. I welcome that engagement, and I know that many of my colleagues here do as well, because we do serve the same students and members of our community that reflect the diversity of this brilliant community. So to my fellow Latino leaders who are from House of Promise, as an Afro-Latino, I don't want you to feel that the only time that you can engage with the committee is when you're seeking legal counsel or disagree with the proposed policy. So what I'm doing is just creating the invitation that there has to be more than just the opportunity to speak to us after a meeting and shake our hands. It is truly intended that you all reach out to meet with individual committee members, but to have respect for the open meeting law and our processes. And to be a good shepherd, I think, is super important. So I'm trying to say all this to empower folks to do connect with us. And I just want to turn to a few other things that I saw in the letter and what came out in the Boston Herald that Mr. Whiting had proposed, because he compared this situation to the Salem witch trials, which happened centuries ago. And I took exception to that. So, and I quote, "Over 300 years later, history seems to be repeating itself, albeit with a different cast of characters," he wrote. "This time, it's not the Puritans hunting for witches, but the Salem Public School Committee rooting out Christian churches. Apparently, someone needs to educate Salem about its own history and that our Constitution doesn't allow for anti-Christian witch hunts." So I want to be very clear with the public. There is no war or witch hunts, as Mr. Whiting has described, on Christian churches in Salem. Salem, like every other community, has many churches, places of worship, and the primary practice religion in our community is the umbrellas of Christianity. And Christians and Catholics in our community are well represented and have enormous influence in daily life. So the idea that Christians are being prosecuted similar to the witch trials is unfounded. There isn't a policy yet. There have been 2 readings, and this subcommittee has more work to do without question. So again, this idea that this anti-Christian crusade is happening here in Salem is unfounded, and instead what I would just ask is that folks engage in the process, and MFI in particular engage in the process with respect for the members of the committee and the work that we have to do, because I don't think that there's a need for discord, but I think that there is a need for grace. So I'm inviting folks with grace to watch the democratic process as it unfolds, because I am a father, I'm a public servant, and yes, I am a Christian, and my God doesn't call on me to panic in moments of crisis. He tells me to be patient, to be wise, and to be humble. So to those that felt threatened by the 2 public readings of the policy, I just want to say that it's not finalized. So please bear with us as we do our work as a subcommittee, and I'm asking folks to turn the other cheek and instead extend their hands out in grace. Because if you came tonight expecting that this would be a fight, you won't find it here on this issue. So that's for my community. And then I have a few more things to say about the Mass Family Institute, because over the weekend I had to have the most difficult conversation with my wife and my family about my own safety as a public official, which if you follow the news in Minnesota, there's a lot going on in this country, and my colleagues here, they serve, they volunteered for these jobs and they decided to put their names on the ballot, but they don't sign up for harassment, threats, or anything else that comes with negative coverage around the city. And so, as I think about this particular demand letter, I'm very familiar with the Massachusetts Family Institute and the work that they do. Their advocacy priorities are publicly listed on their website, and I quote, "They defend the rights of those who hold the biblical view of marriage as embodying that of a man and a woman. They protect life at conception, and they safeguard the innocence of children. That's central to their healthy spiritual and mental development. And then furthermore, they advocate for legislation that would ensure the fairness and safety in sports. And this is all publicly available information. Those are viewpoints. I'm happy to disagree about things. As an individual leader in my community, I think disagreement is healthy. Ambition is supposed to counteract ambition. And the one thing that I noted that wasn't included on the advocacy agenda for this particular group is that there isn't any mention of the work that Mass Family Institute does to address they haven't provided at least any public remarks or statements related to family separations that are primarily targeting Christian undocumented Latinos that are occurring at the hands of ICE, and the lack of due process that immigrants in our community are facing. I hope that the Mass Family Institute and their Legal Liberty Center will join the hundreds of multi-faith organizations that support bills like the Safe Communities Act and are fighting to preserve schools and places of worship as protected spaces from immigration enforcement, because that is happening all around our country. And I would point them to Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter, verses 17 and 18, that talk about the way that we should treat foreigners in our land. And so we should not be depriving foreigners of justice. So this is an invitation to the Mass Family Institute to join the table. So in closing, I'm willing to turn my cheek when it comes to the public policy that's at the subject of the deliberation of the committee, and to extend grace. But I will note to the Mass Family Institute that while I turn the cheek on that particular issue, that I, as an individual school committee member, will defend the right of my neighbors, who my God commands me to love, to marry who they love, because love is love, to play sports with their fellow youth without discrimination, to protect access to reproductive education and justice, and to stand up for immigrants and not to leverage them for exploitation, and never to turn a blind eye to their plight. Thank you.
Move on to motions and resolutions. Our first item here is educational program for submission to the MSBA for the high school project.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Motion made by Member Cornell, seconded by Member Campbell. Under discussion? You want to share anything about it? Or? Okay. This will be a roll call vote. We'll start with Member Miranda.
Yes.
My pen explodes. Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Cornell?
Yes.
Member Cruz?
Yes.
Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Member Manning?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Unanimous. The next item listed on the agenda is Policy 3204, lease and rental of school facilities for third reading. No motion for third reading, so the matter will stay with the Policy Subcommittee. Policy 6402, time and location of school committee meetings for third reading.
Sorry. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made by Member Cornell, seconded by Member Miranda. Roll call vote. Member Campbell.
Yes.
Member Cornell.
Yes.
Member Cruz.
Yes.
Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Member Manning.
Yes.
Member Miranda.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Unanimous. Item 9, announcements. Further announcements from the... Yep. One further item. Oh, yep, Member Miranda.
Mayor, I don't know if you planned on talking about the Juneteenth stuff, so I don't want to take your thunder.
No, go for it. It's all you.
The city, actually, maybe you should take that over. 'Cause my understanding is the city is running it. But.
Yeah, so we'll be recognizing Juneteenth holiday. The Juneteenth flag raising that everybody's invited to takes place in Riley Plaza on tomorrow at noon, with North Shore Juneteenth, who's partnered with us in the past to celebrate that. And then the Juneteenth Jam is a city-sponsored festival for the holiday. It takes place in Charlotte Fortin Park starting at noon on the holiday on Thursday. There's a huge slate of programs all afternoon. There's a mini documentary at 5 o'clock at Cinema Salem about the Charlotte Fortin Park and statue, and then a free movie screening on the Common in the evening. So join us for both of those occasions. Thank you for that. Any further motions?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Motion made by Member Campbell, seconded by Member Cornell. A roll call vote. Member Cornell.
Yes.
Member Cruz.
Yes.
Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Member Manning.
Yes.
Member Miranda.
Yes.
Member Campbell.
Yes.
And myself, yes. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.